Okay, welcome to some Napoleon Total War action. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 game on some map, on the Lodi map. So I got myself playing as the Russians, so myself Lightsman, and my ally is going to be part of Poland, so he's going to be playing as Britain, and I believe Spain is up here and the French are up there. So it's going to be one hell of a game, and originally this... got up the rain effects. Yes. Anyway, originally this was meant to also showcase some fancy effects for the Suite Effects module. God, I don't know what the hell's up with my speech today, but anyway. Yeah, for the Suite FX module, but for some bizarre reason it's not working today, so I don't know what the hell is up with that. It happened once before where it was working and then all of a sudden it stopped, but I'm just not really sure what the hell actually causes that, especially since Suite Effects still continues to work for other games, and the thingamajiggy and the Master Effects using the Master Effect, shall I say, using the Reshade Me framework still works for other games as well. So I don't know, something really screwy happening with Napoleon Total War, which isn't too surprising actually, given the fact that it's by Creative Assembly. But anyway, that aside, let's just fast forward this damn thing and get to the actual deployment phase. So yeah, by the way, this is going to be one of my rare games that allow artillery on. I should have some artillery somewhere, right there in fact. 6-pounder foot artillery, that's basically all that was allowed. And the Spaniards apparently can also get some, what do they call them, guerrilla units, which can be deployed just about anywhere, as you can see. I think we'll just press the play button there, so it's screwing with the frame rate a bit there. So yeah, they're just going to get into position there, getting the hill immediately, nothing too fucking surprising there. So my guys are going to have a whale of time against that. And my ally is just going to be walking forward, generally just advancing. And yeah, a French guy is has got quite a few militia actually. Well, a couple of squads of militia anyway. Fusiliers, Voltigeurs. So opponents for some reason do not have artillery, despite the fact that it's mentioned in the title of the server, and also mentioned as before the game started about what was allowed. There you go. Let's just get back to what's happening here, and as you can see, we got the hell these guys. Cazadors something or other against my Chevalier's Guard. Should be able to take them out, but I'm not. So interesting. I get 45 of these guys versus 60 of these. Oh well. I'm going to try to go with my own fearsome charge straight into the enemy's flanks, and of course they're going to get torn to shreds by the enemy horses instead. But at the very least, that's going to put my Uhlans right in front of their hussars, which means that if these guys want to fire, they're going to fire into the backs of their own guys. Same time, they're also going to be advancing forward with their lanceros, basically just lancers, while my mounted rifles just stand by and take the brunt of what's happening there. Yeah, these guys again, the Chevalier's Guard, they are doing quite a bit of damage, but their lack of numbers is probably going to end up screwing them over, to say the least. Very unfortunate. At the very least, I'm baiting my enemy into firing, I suppose, but yeah, my guys completely disintegrate. And yeah, as you can see, my guys are just disintegrating in general. In fact, Mikhail Kutuzov himself is really going to get screwed. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, just charging on my mounted rifles. I should have just got him to fire, really. But in any case, these Cazadors are going to be breaking, and yeah, my general's going to get away, barely. But getting away nonetheless, so that's what counts. Mentioned to get my guys into square as well. And yeah, at the same time, looks like my Jaegers were getting attacked by the Hussars, but yeah, now that they're charging back, hopefully we should be able to take care of them. Yep, they disintegrate essentially. These guys are also rout as well, not that there are that many left of them, except for these Lanceros, there were quite a few of them. But of course, the net effect of all this is the fact that the Spanish player does have his guys on top of the hill, which sucks for me to say the least. But I do have artillery though, so I can just pound him on the hill if I want to. Yeah, but make a bit of a mistake here in that I'm basically going to try to engage him despite the fact that he's on a hill. And yeah, it is somewhat possible to engage just for regular stuff if they've got the height advantage, but it's generally not advised. So with good reason, they're going to have the range advantage and various other perks, which will be just fine and fucking damned. But at the very least, I got my artillery, and if he wants to hold the hill, he's going to have to stand relatively still. So my artillery hopefully is going to be firing at some point, maybe. Well, it looks like one piece is doing something, the other one's just, you know, just hanging back. And there we go. Bam. It does something. Somewhere. So huzzah for that. Malai at the very least is sending in a couple of light dragoons. They're going to be very light indeed, just standing by, being light and polite, while the French player, on the other hand, being far less polite, is going to be charging, or very slowly walking towards us as well. So he's mostly got just regular troops, loads of Swiss foot actually, and a couple of old guards here and there as well. So also has some Polish legion, because why not? As well as, for some reason, some guys back here. So he's kind of spread his guys out a bit. In fact, they might be vulnerable to a pinpoint strike, but my ally doesn't exactly have troops that close to him to make use of such a strike. So, without further ado, let's just go back to what's happening on the only part of the map that actually has any action, which is going to be Nya. Actually, what happened to my... Ah, okay, I think I just lost a squad of skirmishers somewhere. I've got my Jaegers, and I don't seem to have any others, so it looks like I've already lost a single squad of them, so whoopsie long. And yeah, really, this is not an ideal position at all. I should just be backing out of there, actually, rather than letting them engage while they're on top of the hill, but there you go, I'm trying. But yeah, this is generally a very, very bad tactical position to be in if you're attacking up the hill. It's a great position for this guy, but I'm getting some flank shots in, but yeah, it's not very good for me. I'm still charging forward, trying to make something happen, but really, I should just be abandoning the hill. We should both be going for the French player instead, let the Spanish player hold on to his precious little hill. Have to watch out for the artillery, of course, make sure he doesn't, well, that obviously told with me as we go towards the French player, otherwise this guy can just charge down and take out artillery, which wouldn't be too pleasant for them, to say the least. So Musketeer is going to be getting straight into the action, doing a bit of damage, taking far more in return though. And yeah, I'm actually going to be charging with my Simonovsky Lifeguards, because why not? They're really powerful on the charge, these Russian infantry in general, but at the same time they are attacking up hills, so it's still a pretty awful position to be in. And yeah, we even got some guys running somewhere, I'm not entirely sure where. I think the guys that are attacking here are now running, I'm not entirely sure. In any case, now got Uhlans charging in, because why not? And actually this is very good if they can take out this skirmisher squad. They're trying. God knows they're trying. The problem is, of course, is that these guys are also really powerful in the charge, otherwise not particularly powerful, and yeah, they're going to be forced to retreat, or possibly to get their morale disintegrated, but no, it's actually going right back up for some reason or another. So there you go. Also, these guys getting into a nice little box as well, so yeah, my Chevaliers probably should get the hell out of there, but yeah, we do have widespread battles happening all across the hill, but again, yeah, very bad position for me to be in. We should have abandoned it to begin with. At the very least, my ally is charging forward with his hussars, so charging right behind them, so I might actually have a bit of a chance, but even so, I should have just backed away, really. Maybe let them come down the hill if they wanted to pursue my troops, rather than engage them on favourable terms for them, to say the least. But what the hell, we'll see what the light dragoons can do. They're going to go straight into the lancers and actually going to suffer massively if they connect, because these guys are of course really powerful on the charge. And these guys are not even charging, they're just sitting by, and looks like they're going to slam right into each other. At the very least, these guys have already been weakened, so only 20 out of 45 members. But yeah, running straight into the 15 Hussars, immediately dispatching a few of that number in the process, while these guys are slowly getting whittled down. But at the very least, if he was going to take them on, he should have just charged himself as well, if only to slightly mitigate the effects of the charge of the Uhlans. Oh, not the Uhlans, sorry, the Lanceros. But what the hell, I mean, they're charging now, so yeah, they've been disintegrated. They did a bit of damage though, far more damage than what they should have been able to do hadn't we countercharged them at the same time, or at the very least sent in our own Lancers. But what can you do? Chevalier's Guard of Moan coming in, so there we go, we might get a nice little backwards flank there, or we might not, we'll see what happens. Where am I? Ah, there we go, there's my Jaegers, and I think that actually, just given the terrain, I'm not entirely sure, because we have a few guys that are behind them, because of the way they're firing. I think they still might be hitting my guys in the back though, actually, so I should have really retreated them. But, oh well. Bit of a silly mistake by me, but what can you do? These guys will be a very tempting target for my own cavalry. And yeah, at the very least, we are forcing them to withdraw some of their troops, so that's something. But at the same time, we're still going with a direct battle, or rather, I'm still going with a direct battle while they're on top of the hill. Bad situation to be in. I have forced at least one of them, well, actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 3 of them to go into square. But really, these guys are just reserve troops anyway behind the main line, so actually they could in fact deploy a few more guys there. And there, in fact. But here comes the cavalry, though. Got the Lifeguard foot for myself. Opelecheni is coming in as well, because why not? As well as the King's German Legion Lightfoot, and more King's German Legion Lightfoot as well by Great Britain. So hopefully we can get some nice little flanks going on there. At the same time, the French player is essentially doing nothing. In fact, I dare say what my ally should have done, if he just wanted to contain the French player, was just to put a few guys into the town hall. And apparently there's another building there. Yeah, I think the town hall would have been the one to control.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
Indeed, just to you know, stop them from crossing the bridge, because this is a very good choke point to hold them against. But oh well, what we are doing on the other hand is we have my Chevaliers coming straight in. The Fusiliers are thankfully not in square. We have a few guys in square, but my guys are mostly, well, doing quite a bit of damage at the very least. These guys are getting into square though, and my guys, well, Chevaliers probably should get the hell out of there actually. And at the very least, yeah, we do have more guys in square, and I don't mind, I do have Russian Jaegers, and I've still got the 17th Jaeger Regiment still alive, or what do you know. Unfortunately though, I don't really have any troops to capitalise on all these guys forming square, because they've been torn to shreds, funnily enough, in a head-on confrontation fighting uphill, which bizarrely enough has not actually been such a great idea for me, to say the least. But what the hell, at least I'm trying, and yeah, it has been quite a learning experience, you could say. And actually, I might actually get a Russian Jaegers to charge forward apparently. Now the Chevalier Guard are also charging as well, so that's to take out his own light infantry. I am guessing that these were the guys who ran out of ammo at some point. They're very dangerously close to getting demoralized. In fact, they could do with the assistance of the general, and not too bad. They get disintegrated completely, and my Chevaliers are about to get killed off to the last guy as well. But at the very least, they do quite a bit of damage to their skirmishers, and we actually managed to disintegrate them entirely. So could be worse. He, I believe, doesn't have any more. Nope, he doesn't have any more light infantry, so huzzah for that. And we're starting to surround him as well. We're actually starting to get some guys on top of the hill, God forbid. And in fact, that's actually what I should have done to these guys. I should have just got to swing all the way around to get on top of the hill, rather than to attack them like that. A very interesting angle, actually, attacking them like this, for that matter. I should have maybe swung them around here and then got them to attack along the side. I would have had to worry about these guys, of course, but still, I don't know why these guys are just walking. Bit of a miss-micro by myself there. Power bar is still roughly half-half, and of course, just as I say half-half, it swings slightly into the enemy's favour, so we'll see how things work out. But things at the moment are not going too well for us, not to mention the French player is at full force, and yeah, my forces have been whittled down quite a bit. My ally has helped a bit, but yeah, so far it's just mostly been myself and the Spanish player on top of the hill, myself just charging straight into it. A bit silly of me, but well, not to mention also leaving my artillery exposed. So you can probably guess what's going to happen there. And yeah, it looks like my Jaegers are not doing anything. The Musketeers, on the other hand, are running. So even though they are pretty good on the melee charging uphill like this into masses of infantry, still not the best of ideas, to say the least. And yeah, now these guys are going to get torn to shreds by the general staff. Most likely all my troops, well, almost all my troops are completely dead. The King's German Legion Lightfoot is doing nothing. There we go, finally they're going to be advancing forward. He should have done that a bit earlier actually, but these guys are ready for them. They've got shorter range though, so these guys can afford to skirmish from long range possibly. And if these guys of course advance too much forward, which they're going to be doing, then they might get countercharged by the 15 Hussars and the Light Dragoons, which is actually what he might be trying to do. My ally Pilot of Poland. He might be trying to bait these guys to go forward in order to charge with his 15 Hussars, but if that was the case, then he'd be charging in, which is something that is not quite doing, to say the least. Also, I don't know what the hell is up with the frame rate. Indeed, the frame rate going up and down this match, but whatever. I think that's something to do with the amount of smoke there is on the screen or something. But in either case, there we go. He does get the Hussars to charge in, and in fact he should have actually have diverted them the second he saw them engaging in square formation, and then go straight for these Fusiliers. But here come the Walloon Guards. Not too familiar with them, but I'm sure they're very deadly indeed. So they're going to be coming in. Yeah, generally I don't think that Pilot of Poland is going to have too much of a chance here, although he is, there we go, he's going to be diverting his guys towards these Fusiliers. That's something. Managing to catch them out of square, very good. But in my opinion, he should have diverted them the second he saw these guys going into square formation. I mean, that's part of what cavalry is supposed to do. I mean, at the very least, you know, if you're forcing your enemy into square, even if you're not attacking them with the cavalry, if you're attacking them with just infantry in general, I mean, only one part of that square can fire on them. Unless if you're attacking them from all angles, I suppose. In which case, they're most likely going to die anyway, because you've pretty much surrounded them. So, there you have it. We managed to force these guys into square, and these King's German Legion Knight Foot might actually have a chance after all. Pretty much all my stuff is dead though, which kind of sucks. Only my uphill Chennies are alive, and the artillery for that matter as well. So, continuing to fire, why not? But here comes the General Staff of Spain. Going to be very nasty for me indeed, and at the same time these guys unfortunately getting torn to shreds. The cavalry is completely dead. Wow, that was pretty fast actually, but then again they were only light cavalry, so you can only expect them to do so much. My Alpenschini on the other hand are managing to somehow hold the line, despite the fact that they're well, they're the militia for Russia, the cheapest militia, these Opolchenis, but yeah, they're holding the line. God bless their hearts. But yeah, they really should be retreating actually. Especially against Fusiliers. Yeah, need to get the hell out of there. Well, they managed to hold the hill. Good on them, although essentially all the Planish.
We have killed their general,
Indeed,
sir.
all
Now
the
they must break.
yes, all the Spanish player really did was he spawned some guys on top of the hill to begin with, and then he basically camped the hill while we threw everything against it. So certainly not the most intricate of strategies. In fact, one could say using the guerrilla abilities is a bit cheap. But it worked so far, and funnily enough, them charging the general into my artillery has actually resulted in the general himself being killed off, so yeah, look at him go. The general recently died. Well, good work artillery, you managed to kill the enemy general.
Our unit is dead, sir.
Not quite in the way that our team would have hoped, but there you go. And yeah, now the King's German Light Foot are forced to retreat, and they're not going to get away that easily though. These guys are confident, they're a bit winded, a bit concerned, but they're managing to charge straight into the light infantry. In fact, yeah, managing to rout one of them. The other squad could possibly get routed as well. My Opolchenis, on the other hand, are still alive, which is interesting that my only surviving squad would be a militia squad. So will they be incredibly heroic? Well, we'll just have to wait and see as the battle finally shifts towards the northeastern sector of the map, with the French and British guys, you know, just hanging out, occasionally shoving each other. Not much more than that really. I mean really, this is almost like looking at the aftermath of a soccer match rather than an actual battle. You know, just soccer fans just, you know, shoving each other a bit, occasionally punching each other, you know, just the regular after soccer match in a European country between France and Britain. Or just using them as an example in this case, but anyway, so yeah, a bit more pushing and shoving. So foot versus Fusiliers of the line. I'm not entirely sure who would win in such a case, but these guys really need to retreat, although if they can kill off the general for France as well, that'll actually give us a great advantage, because I'm pretty sure that my general ran away. I don't think my general actually died, and apparently, well, him running away is still bad for morale, but it's not as bad as him dying though, so yeah. Certainly not anywhere near as bad as the general actually dying. So there we go, we got that happening, so that's something. Where's my allies general? Ah, there he is. Yes, there you go. His artillery is still there as well. It is reloading. It's going to be firing, hopefully. I'll also get a close-in shot of that, because why not? There you go, very fancy indeed. And lucky last. There we go. Just let it face through the camera there. And bam.
Killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
And what do you know, the French general has also been killed off. So two pretty good blows against the enemy, but yeah, the power bar's still in their favour. And yeah, now we really have to watch out, because they're possibly going to sandwich our forces here between the French and the Spanish troops here. That's going to be very nasty if these guys are caught out like that. But we do have Coldstream Guards, so the elite troops, as well as the Fort Guards apparently, so, and a few others. So the elite troops for my ally are still alive, and my Opolcheni are actually doing a pretty good amount of damage. In fact, well, they're doing a good distraction, should I say, or they're being a good distraction. For our opponents here, we got, well, Fusiliers. I think I'm trying to flank them, not entirely sure actually. In any case, these guys seem to be rather hesitant to advance forward. But there we go, they're advancing forward. And yeah, it looks like my ally is going to be advancing forward with his own foot infantry. In fact, these guys are actually going to be retreating. No, they're just reforming there. There you go. Look at that. Rigid discipline right there. So they're going to be firing at some point maybe while my Opolchenis are... there we go, General alive. They're going to be flanking most likely, so doing a bit of harassment wherever I can. Not giving up just yet, but there we go, yeah, he's actually going to be retreating these guys after all. Probably not such a bad idea given the fact that he was going to get sandwiched between the Old Guard and Fusiliers. Fusiliers as far as the eye can see, as well as some Walloon Guards. And here we go, here is a possible sandwich. The Old Guard could actually serve themselves very well if they basically charge straight into our line here. Especially given the way these guys are facing this way. Are they going to do that though? Is the French player going to charge straight into a line, or is he just going to do nothing? Seems to be nothing so far. While the Walloon Guards on the other hand are going to charge against us. So at the very least, the Fusiliers have been diverted by my Opolchenis, and given the fact that the Opolcheni are much cheaper compared to regular line infantry, that's a net victory for me, managing to divert a regular squad like that. So, yay. But yeah, so the French player, he's not actually going to be charging into alliance. He's going to be reforming these guys and just shooting us in the back, it seems, which can certainly work as well, but the amount of time that he spent reforming these guys, he could have just charged straight into a line here. But what can you do? I'm pretty sure the Old Guard, they are pretty good in melee as well. They're basically the elite infantry for France. Very powerful elite infantry at that. But just going to stand by and just shoot us in the back. And now they're going to reform a bit. You know, they have to get the line perfect, of course. Honestly, I think they would have just been better off just charging straight into them. But what can you do? Great Britain is going to be retreating. Good old Pilot of Poland, using better part of valor, as it were. And yeah, I'm surprised he actually stayed in that situation for as long as he did. But at the very least, he's, well, his squads haven't completely disintegrated. He's taken quite a bit of damage. We've taken control. Capture building. Yes, we've taken control of that building. It's a very noteworthy event indeed. While for some reason our opponents have not taken control of this building, would be pretty useful actually, given the fact that we do have some infantry around there. I mean, either that or maybe get these young guard to point it this way and then shoot these guys in the back. But yeah, just, well, they're suffering immensely, really. I dare say the French player could do with a slightly better macro as well. I suppose me and the French player would count as the newbie players in this game. But things are still going in their opponent's favour, though. Just have some rather interesting Spanish infantry arrayed against us, as well as some Old Guard, despite the fact they're not being used that well, to say the least. And at the very least, yeah, I did actually manage to get the Fusiliers to peel off from the main force, and I'm actually doing quite a bit of damage. My guy is 76 to 53, and they've got slightly better morale, so they might actually be able to do quite a bit of damage, in fact. Fusiliers are getting into a single line, though, and yep, indeed, I don't know what they're saying. Something very cute, I'm sure. And yeah, they actually managed to fire straight into these guys, but I did manage to get quite a few shots into them. These guys are heavily demoralized. They haven't broken yet, though. But with a bit of luck, I might just be able to win this little shooting battle here, especially if I can get these guys into a better line, actually. Indeed, yes. Fusiliers, they have broken, which is quite amazing, actually, given the fact that these guys are militia, and I believe these guys are at least regular line troops. So not bad, not bad. I'm still, well, still not out of the fight entirely. Still managing to do a bit of harassment here and there, trying to make things as easy as possible for my ally, to say the least. It looks like he's got nice big lines going on as well, why not? But we're still facing an enemy with superior numbers, I'm pretty sure, but These are guard infantry, so foot guards, not as good as the Coldstream guards, but they're still pretty, well, still pretty powerful infantry, I suppose. Also got foots there, and Coldstream guards, bizarre enough, are going to be defending the building, because why not? We've got some guys yelling around as well, and our own Connaught Rangers going to be charging straight into their old guard. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. I'm assuming these guys are out of ammunition. That's the only reason I can think of for them to charge directly into old guards of all things. And if they're going to do that, they probably should get the foot guards, not the foot guards, just the regular foot infantry to help out as well. Just either shoot into their...
Entire unit is dead, sir.
Indeed. Either to shoot into them while they attack them, or, you know, to charge into them as well. Have a jolly good time, old sports. But nope, we let one of our squads get disintegrated, and now we just got the single foot infantry squad firing into the side of these guys, and I'm not really sure why exactly the French player reformed them like that. In fact, I'm not really sure what the hell he's doing at all. He seems to be sending them back and forth. These guys are looking concerned, and yeah, I'd be pretty concerned as well if I was being commanded in such a fashion, to say the least. But there you go. Opportunities are trying to do a bit of harassment. Looks like these Fusiliers, I believe they were the ones who were routing before. They unfortunately are back and better than ever, and in reduced numbers. But I did also manage to get these Walloon guards to peel off from the enemy force as well, and these guys are even more powerful and more expensive than the regular line infantry that I managed to peel off before. So these guys are definitely hitting above their weight. It's just too bad that my forces weren't doing that until after all the other squads were dead. But oh well, still doing what I can, I suppose. But yeah, obviously the mate of our army is now left in the good old British, and they seem to be doing pretty well. The French player is... I don't know what the hell he was thinking of this formation. So they're facing this way, and they're in a bit of a column formation. Huh. Pretty much the worst formation you can use for, you know, just for regular battles, which is what we're having at the moment. So that doesn't make any sense. We also had the lights flicker briefly, so yay, we almost had a power failure. Bizarre for that, but thankfully it was only momentary, and the computer's on an uninterruptible power supply anyway, so don't have to worry about it unexpectedly switching off, thank God. Actually, one thing that my British counterpart could be doing, actually, since he's got horse guards here, he might as well just charge these guys. I know these are old guards, but these horse guards presumably are very powerful heavy cavalry of their own, actually. And what do you know, just as I say that, Part of Holland is going to send one squad down here and one squad up here to... I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe one squad is going to be used against the Walloon guards, possibly. No, I think he's actually using both squads against the old guard, and both of them actually getting promoted simultaneously, as was the style of Napoleonic warfare at the time, of course. But anyway, they do a great job, actually completely annihilating the old guard within seconds, which was rather surprising to say the least. I suppose they're already whittled down and demoralized from their previous battle, and now these guys are going to charge the Walloon guards, save the foot infantry, maybe. No, these guys, morale is going up for some reason, but nope, it's going down now, and they'll probably get annihilated as well. Yep, going to get demoralized and completely disintegrated. So yeah, good on my ally, actually. He's doing a great job turning things around, and we also missed out on what was happening here. Looks like the Fusiliers of the Spanish did try to close in, but it looks like these guys managed to do a great job holding their line. And I suppose they are foot guards after all against Fusiliers, so that's something. And at the same time, my own Opolchenia are going to be charging in a line and doing a bit of damage, hopefully. So just doing a bit of stutter step micro there briefly. Yep, yeah, look at that. Just like we're playing a game of StarCraft. Of course, stutter step micro being a key strategy of the Russians in Napoleonic time. You know, how else are you going to get your guys to make the most of the enemy's movement and all that? But anyway, so yeah, guys, just going to be firing straight into them, making sure that they keep on routing. I probably should be sending them a bit forward just to help take out the Walloon guards, but these foot guards, they, well, as you can see, they seem to know what they're doing.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And yep, that's my Opolchenia actually losing not losing, but rather using up all their ammo, which is rather rare for a militia squad to actually survive long enough to use up all their ammo. But there you go, they're actually going to do that, and yeah, now they're going to charge in. They're eager, they're tired, they're still encouraged, the enemy's routing, and yes, quite a glorious charge, but of course the British managed to steal the Russia's thunder as usual with their general staff, so oh well. Still, it's a team effort after all, and yeah, we actually managed to swing things pretty much right around. So once they charged into our well-formed, immaculate lines, they didn't seem to stand too much of a chance, which was rather surprising to say the least. One hell of a turnaround, I'll say that much. So, yeah, we shouldn't have engaged them on a hill, but once they got off the hill, they didn't know what hit them, it seemed. So just looking at the carnage, yeah, we got no blood on the battlefield, of course. Very bloodless battles were fought during the Napoleonic era. But yeah, as you can see, the whole hillside is just littered with the aftermath of the battle there, so quite a hellish visage indeed of what was once a pristine green hillside there. Indeed. And the good news is, at the very least, my Opportunities are still alive. And yeah, the battle's pretty much won, only the French player remains. So I think we'll fast forward actually.
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Indeed. So he had some Swiss foot there that disappeared from view, and he's also got some militia which are getting heavily demoralized, probably from all the enemies that are fleeing. Well, actually no, it just says concerned a general dead. So, but the two generals, they died a long time ago, so I'm not sure why their morale just dropped down like that for no particular reason. Maybe they didn't like getting into the water. In any case, they've still got Swiss foot, they've still got the militia, and they've still got a squad back here as well. And that would be the Fusiliers, and they're going to charge straight into my Opportunities. In fact, what the hell, let's watch this play out in regular motion, because why not? So these guys have actually got a numbers advantage and a morale advantage over the Fusiliers. But it's going to be a bit of a close match. I dare say that my Opportunities should be able to take them out, but they are getting demoralized as well. But just in the nick of time, the Fusiliers not only get demoralized, but they get entirely disintegrated as well in terms of morale. With 34 troops remaining, actually, so wow. Nicely done, Opportunities, I'll say that much. Very nicely done. Now there you have it. Now it's just between us and the French player. Will the French militia be able to do something similar to my Opportunities? The answer is no. They're just going to be sitting around this little choke point getting shot to pieces. Now there you go, let's just fast forward. You can probably guess what's going to happen next. Or rather how this is going to end, eventually. And thank God for being able to fast forward during replays. So yeah, these guys are just going to be soundlessly firing away, generating a lot of smoke and bluster, but ultimately barely putting a dent in the Coldstream Guards. These guys are going to stand firm against the militia, and away these guys go, streaming out like ants, and yeah, just the Swiss foots remaining. They're going to play through to the end, aren't they?
Sir, and must rest a while.
Indeed. Yeah, they're going to play through to the end, I bet. Which would be great if they just went for one last charge, but no, these guys are completely disintegrated in terms of morale. And there is our victory. So, nicely done to our team, actually. Very nice little turnaround, if I do say so. So it was myself, Lightman, and Pilot of Poland versus Lesov and Dirk Spence. Great names. So, yeah, deployed some guys, killed some guys. I did a bit more damage than the French player. So that's something, I suppose, but you saw how the French player acted, so... but yeah, next time I think I might try to avoid doing a direct hill fight, unless I'm on top of the actual damn hill, so... There you go, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I shall see you all next time.